Ram Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Prabhupada ki jai. Shira dadi anna gorasan taravo bhuri varshamana trasuyanta madhuchadaha. Suhu saranadya uhuhu bor sarvarasan, all kinds of tastes. Nadya, the rivers. Kshira, milk. Dadi, curd. Anna, different kinds of food. Gorasan, other milk products. Taravaha, trees. Buri, great. Varshamanaha, having bodies. Prashayunta, bore fruit. Madhuchutaha, dropping honey. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, you can put it up. Translation. The flowing rivers supplied all kinds of tastes, sweet, pungent, sour, etc. And very big trees supplied fruit and honey in abundance. The cows, having eaten sufficient green grass, supplied profuse quantities of milk, curd, clarified butter, and similar other necessities. Please repeat. The flowing rivers supplied all kinds of tastes, sweet, pungent, sour, etc. And very big trees supplied fruit and honey in abundance. The cows, having eaten sufficient green grass, supplied profuse quantities of milk, curd, clarified butter, and similar other necessities. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. If rivers are not polluted and are allowed to flow in their own way, or sometimes allowed to flood the land will become very fertile and able to produce all kinds of vegetables, trees, and plants. The word rasa means taste. Actually, all rasas are taste within the earth. And as soon as seeds are sown in the ground, various trees sprout up to satisfy our different tastes. For instance, sugarcane produces its juices to satisfy our taste for sweetness, and oranges provide their taste to satisfy our taste for mixture of sour and sweet. Similarly, there are pineapples and other fruits. At the same time, there are chilies to satisfy one's taste for pungency. Although the earth's ground is the same, different tastes arise due to different kinds of seeds. As Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 17:10, Bijam Mam Sarvabhutanam, I am the original seed of all the existences. Therefore, all arrangements are there. And as stated in Isvapanishad, Purnamidam, complete arrangements for the production of all the necessities of life are made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. People should therefore learn how to satisfy the Yajna Purusha, Lord Vishnu. Indeed, the living entity's prime business is to satisfy the Lord, because the living entity is part and parcel of the Lord. Thus, the whole system is so arranged that the living entity must do his duty as is constitutionally made. Without doing so, all living entities must suffer. That is the law of nature. The words Taravo, Bhuri, Varshamanaha indicate very luxuriantly grown, big-bodied trees. The purpose of these trees was to produce honey and varieties of fruit. In other words, the forest also has its purpose to supply honey, fruits, and flowers. Unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, due to an absence of yajna, there are many big trees in the forest, but they do not supply sufficient fruits and honey. Thus, everything is dependent on the performance of yajna. The best way to perform yajna in this age is to spread the Sankirtana movement all over the world. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyamadi Paschatya Desitarine Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Pasapanatikam Vancha Kalpatarobhescha Kripa Sindhubhye Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We should notice very carefully how Prabhupada is writing to the exact verse. It may look, many people think, oh, Prabhupada is repeating the same thing again and again. That's the greatest mistake we can make. For every purport, for every sloka, he is giving a purport exactly on the sloka. And he is actually explaining the real meaning of that sloka. So, Prabhupada is explaining here very clearly the principle of creation and how we are supposed to live in this world. Isn't it, Narayana Chaitanya Prabhu? Very beautifully is explaining. The whole idea is that in the spiritual world, everybody is enjoying. And they are enjoying various rasas. These rasas, as we know and repeat, are primarily divided into Dasya rasa, Shanta rasa, Dasya rasa, Vatsalya rasa, Sakya rasa, and Madhurya rasa. These are actually the rasas of the spirit soul in relation to Krishna. So in the spiritual world, these rasas are intrinsic to the soul. And of course, it also depends on the evolution of the consciousness of the soul, even in the spiritual world. So that even in the spiritual world, the Madhurya rasa is considered the highest. And Prabhupada writes that, and of course, everybody knows that the peak of the Madhurya rasa is in the rasa dance. But Srila Prabhupada writes that Krishna wants everyone in the creation to participate in the rasa dance. He doesn't want any other rasa. Yo mam evam asammudo janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Another name for Madhurya Bhav is Sarva Bhav, because all other bhavas are included in it. Like if there is, she's a wife, she can also be a mother, she can be a friend. So she can have all the bhavas with her husband, but others cannot have. The mother cannot have the bhava of wife. So Sarva Bhava means actually, so this Madhurya Rasa is there anyway. But the main point we have to understand is that in the spiritual world, the basis for exchange of love between Krishna and the souls is rasa. And this rasa is whatever one possesses. And in Vaikuntha Bhav, in Vaikuntha if you go, there is Dasya Bhav, like that, it is there. So this rasa is intrinsic to the soul, and every other activity is in line with that rasa. So nobody is eating there because they are hungry. But Mother Yasoda is cooking, feeding Krishna, and she is also taking the remnants because of Vatsalya Rasa. The friends are going in the forest with Krishna, and they are also bringing packed prasadam from their homes. There are millions and millions and billions and trillions of cowherd boys going with Krishna, and they are also exchanging tiffin with Krishna and eating because of Sakya Rasa. Same activity, but the fundamental idea is the rasa that is different. Now the living entity who is inimical to Krishna, which is all people like me in the material world, we are not having any rasa with Krishna. Polluted consciousness. Because of which even Krishna cannot understand why is the soul inimical to me? Because there is no way he can enjoy anything except in relation to me. Even in the material world, everything is in relation to me because I'm everything. So how is it that he is trying to enjoy independent of me? Exactly like a child. Sometimes wants to get down, mother is carrying, he is kicking the mother and he wants to get down. He's hardly 10 months old, he has just learned to crawl, but he wants to go here and there. So the mother finds a nice place to put him and she's watching all the time. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baldev, Jai Subhadra ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. And she's watching all the time. Then, you see, similarly, Krishna being the Supreme Father, Aham Bija Pratapita. So Krishna is planning, how can I make these fellows enjoy something in relation to me without knowing it is with me, because they actually are inimical to me. This is the science of creation. Fools don't know, just don't care to know it, and even if it is told, they don't care. But those of us who are just taking the very beginning steps in Krishna consciousness, we don't know philosophy, we don't know Siddhanta, we know nothing. We should not fall into the illusion of thinking we know something. That disease is there. It's a disease. It's a disease. And because of the disease, we cannot really benefit all the living entities. So we should understand that I have just entered this path and I must actually withdraw myself from all the senses, pratyahara, the yama and niyama I'm following, so I should just. And then I can see and feel Krishna everywhere. And then I can develop my rasa, original rasa. This is the science of Krishna consciousness. But so Krishna, what he does is that all these other rasas that are enjoyed in the spiritual world, right? Eating, having fun, playing this, that, even in the spiritual world, the smelling of beautiful flowers. But they are all coming from the original rasa. So that original rasa is missing. Then Krishna says, how can I give all these other rasas? Taste, smell. So the material creation is made. That is the significance of Bhagavad Sankhya that is described in the third canto. What is the purpose? It shows how the Lord is creating. It's not explained, and nor can you understand by reading the books. Where is Asim? Anyway. So, these rasas are actually created in the material world without the original rasa. And this is done by taking the material energy. And who is creating the material energy? I can't hear you. Who is creating the material energy? I can't hear you. Louder, louder. Why is it Krishna? Krishna? Who is creating the material energy? You agree? You agree? What about you? What is your name? Kanishta. Ganesh. I follow. But that is not actually correct. The science of Krishna consciousness means we must know everything properly. Krishna directly does not deal with matter. So In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada is writing, Vishnostu trini rupani purushakyani ato viduhu ekanto mahato srishti. So the material energy is created by Mahavishnu, Mahat Srishti, creation. So Krishna in his expansion, of course, it is ultimately Krishna, but Krishna in his expansion as Mahavishnu actually creates the material energy. What does it mean to create material energy? Bhutva bhutva pralita, it's manifest and not manifest. What is that? That is another science. I won't discuss it today. But one should know such things, or I don't know. One should not sit and think like you know everything. You don't even know that material energy is created by Mahavishnu. But you are saying Krishna. There is no meaning to it. So Prabhupada is explaining that. And in this verse, he is not really going into more detail, which he does in other slokas about the same topic. So these various rasas, separate from the original rasas, is created in the material world through Mahat Tattva, and Mahat is actually, what is the difference between Pradhana and Mahat? So, Pradhana is known only, its existence is only known to Krishna as, source of everything. Of course, Krishna means other expansions of the Lord. But Mahat, and it is not perceivable. Therefore, nobody else can know. But Mahat is actually Pradhana. Blah, 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 blah. Just listen. You don't know what is that. This is ISKCON rubbish. Say whatever you want. And no, here it's like, no, here it's like that. What is this glance of Krishna? That's not the point I'm making. What to do? There is no way to teach without saying you don't know. So you have to forgive me for that. I'm not trying to chastise you or anything. But that is the only way. There is no way surgery can be done without cutting open. There is no nice way, okay. Why can't you do the surgery nicely? I don't feel the pain. That's not possible. So in the perfection of yoga, Srila Prabhupada says that one who speaks nice words is an enemy. Sadhu, particularly. A sadhu who speaks nice words, Prabhupada says, is an enemy. Hita Shatru, he says. Hita speaks pleasing words, but is Shatru. Enemy. Nobody in the give class tell you, everybody tells you, you're a fool. Blah, blah, blah. Don't open your mouth. Let's listen. Did I say like that? No. No. Of course, people are thinking, I'm MTech, I'm from America, I'm here, from there. Why are you telling me I don't know anything? What do you know? Why are you sitting there assuming? Then there is no satsang. There is no Bhagavatam class. So Prabhupada said that his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, said that a sadhu who speaks, that's exactly there in Perfection of Yoga. Have you read that? Do you remember reading it? So Prabhupada says that my spiritual Maharaj said that he who speaks nice words, a sadhu, is the enemy. As soon as Arjuna was very nice to Krishna, isn't it? Karpanya dosha upahata svabhava dharma vimuda pracha chetasa prachami tvam. What is that? Pracham. Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. I have become your servant. Kindly instruct me. Very polite and very nice. And he's accepting Krishna now, no longer my friend, you are my guru. I'm surrendering to you. I'm Dharma Vimuda Chetasa, Karpanya Dosha. And Krishna said, what did he say? Asochayan anvasochastam pragyavadamshta bhasase. First thing he said is, you are speaking very learned words because you're talking about how the world will suffer. It's a fact. The world is suffering because of, all the Kshatriyas were killed and everything. But Krishna said, you're speaking, but actually you're foolish. Because that is the way. That is not, it's very difficult to understand. That it's impossible to transmit knowledge without, just like you go to your doctor, he's not going to tell you, oh, you are looking very fine, wonderful, you are so amazing, but still you need immediate surgery. No. He'll say, your blood pressure is low, your breathing is shallow, this and that and everything. Therefore, you need to go to the hospital. But the person who went to the doctor is very polite. Hello, doctor. How are you? Yes, nice, sit down. So what's he said everything, but the doctor is saying bad things about him. Your eyes don't look good, isn't it? What is this? Because that is the job of the doctor. So this material energy, the Mahat, which is created by the Mahavishnu, is injecting. That has nothing to do with the glands, that is all before. Injecting the material desires of the living entities. Then it becomes Pradhana. Matter is neutral, it becomes Pradhana. Sorry, Mahat Tattva. And that is manifest as the three modes of material nature. So that is very difficult to know because we don't even know Panchabhutas, where to know Trigunas. That is, Triguna is it's a material, like chemical materials we talk about, sodium, potassium, perma, right? Like that, Trigunas is a material element, original three material elements. If you slap somebody on the face and he keeps quiet, why? We don't know. It depends on the modes that it's acting on him. If he's Satoguna, he'll be keeping quiet saying, I don't know what I did. Some karma is there. I'll accept it. That is Satoguna. Rajaguna means this fellow slapped me, but he's stronger than me right now. I'll go home and get my friends. And I'll come back in the evening, I'll show him. That is, internally he's very angry, but externally he's keeping quiet, considering all the circumstances. Tamaguna means the guy is drunk, he's on the road, and somebody slapped him, he doesn't even know, therefore he doesn't react. So you cannot simply by the activities find out what is modes. Of course, devotees have some intuition, I don't deny that, but I'm just saying. So, Ekanto Mahato Srishti, Dutiyam Anda Samsitam, Tritiyam Samsta Bhutva, Kyatva Iti Vimuchyate. We must know, if you know this, you'll get liberated. And getting liberated is very important because then you can begin devotional service. So, in this material energy, Pradhana, the rasas are manifested so beautifully. So, Mahato Srishti. Mahato Srishti means the entire Srishti coming from Mahat is done by Mahavishnu. Some stages later are given to Brahma. Just like a very rich man, an Ambani or somebody starts a company, he does everything first needed. He is registering the company and He's putting the initial money, allocate some budget of few thousand crores, isn't it? And decides what the company is going to manufacture, produces and appoints the top people, and then they start doing something, but they are only employed agents. But what is the science behind it? We should know. So Mahatattva, Mahatadi Srishti is coming from Mahavishnu, and that is actually described that by the interaction, by the agency of time, these various means for, so the, elements are produced, pure elements. First is in the first round, sound, ether, and ear are produced. So there is this element, sound, and the instrument for hearing that, ear, of course, and the element ether and the tanmatra, sound is produced. It's a rasa. Sound is a rasa. You hear some nice song, everybody's liking. It's a rasa. It's not only taste and touch that have rasa, but sound also has rasa. It has the ability to please and also displease. Some nice, what is that sound? Sound has got duality, world of duality. So then comes actually air element and sense of touch and skin produced. There is actually a Greek guy who had a theory of creation that is there in Greek thought, that there are all the basic elements are there, hands, legs, and eyes, nose, ear, and it's all assembled for each person. From where did he get it? It's from the Vedic, this idea of Sankhya, but very, so there's plagiarism. Anyway, so once in a morning walk in San Francisco, Srila Prabhupada asked, where are all these cars coming from? And devotees were saying from people's houses. So from where are they originally coming from? And finally, Prabhupada established the answer. That is originally coming from the factory where it's made. And in the factory, all the elements are actually assembled, created. And he said, like that, you should know where all these bodies are coming from. So that once the tastes are there and the means for tasting them are there, then comes actually fire and fire element and sense of sight and eye is produced. And water element, sense of taste and tongue is produced. Then sense of smell, earth element, sense of smell and nose, prototype nose is produced. From this, automatically, so many types of bodies are created in the various modes of nature. And these can interact with each other. The senses of perception interacting with the elements produce the rasas, tanmatras. Taste, smell, this, and the universe comes into being. So, and Prabhupada is that part. After that, Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, if you see, that from earth, all tastes are coming. Because each element is in the next element. And in earth, all elements are there and all the tastes are there. And then Prabhupada is explaining that in the earth, all tastes are there, and it is so scientifically created by who? Huh? Yeah, see, now you are in knowledge. See? Whereas before, if I had asked you, you will say Krishna. Of course, we think Krishna is the right answer for everything. That is true, but there is also All these expansions are there for a reason. Don't you feel now you are in knowledge when you answer? That is knowledge. You know why you are saying it. Isn't it? Good or bad? Very good or good? Huh? Good or very good? Very good or excellent? Excellent or super excellent? It goes like that. The more we understand, I'm not saying what I'm saying is all that. I'm saying the more we understand Bhagavatam, it is going from being nice to good to very good to excellent to super excellent. So when Prabhupada says super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna, he's enjoying at that level. We can say wonderful pastimes, even that we don't feel. So if we actually feel, then we say what we feel, we'll say interesting. Isn't it? At least we find it somewhat interesting. That's all. No, the science. Therefore, Krishna says, Shatruvida bhajante mam jana sukritina Arjuna. That is connected to this. Curious, he says. Curious, interesting. Interesting, that's all. Correct or not correct? So we can know, if we know the Siddhanta right, we can know exactly where we are. That's what I'm saying always. Understand everything and be clear. Not glance of Krishna. What? Okay, you read it somewhere. It means nothing. You see the difference now, what I was saying? Everything must be precise, scientific. So these rasas are created by Krishna, and then the bodies are also made of these elements and these senses. And when these bodies are interacting with these elements in the world, which Earth is summary, then you get the same rasas that are in the spiritual world. If you go to Goloka and if you go to Mother Yasoda's house in the evening, when Krishna is coming back from pasturing, and there are millions and millions and millions of cowherd boys sitting, it's all described. Where? It's there. Brihat Bhagavatamrita. So when you go there and then you sit down and great, beautiful laddus are brought, perfectly colored, with so many other colors and so many dry fruits and this and that and everything. And you just take one bite. Wow! Amazing. Because there's more description in Bhagavatamrita. We don't have to talk about that now, more advanced. Then we may say, nothing like this is in the material world. And Krishna will say, no, it's the same laddu. What is it? It's the same laddu, Krishna. The only difference is, here it's all made for me. There it is all made for you. That's all the difference. I'm not there. Otherwise, everything I've given. Krishna is so kind. It's not like everything is, all the rasas are there. But we are eating, no happiness. Correct? Therefore, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, now we have to say Krishna, not Mahavishnu, because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. What is that verse? Bhunjate te tu agam papam yopachanti atmakaranat. What's the first line? Yajnashishta santo mushyanti sarvakilbishaya. Bhunjate te agam papam yopachanti atmakaranat. Yajnashishta. Shishta means that is yajna. When given to Vishnu, Krishna, original Vishnu is Krishna, and then you take remnants, yajna, that is actually nice. And if you eat only for yourself, you'll never be happy. So, I give the example. In cricket, if somebody scores 100 runs, it's considered great. And one run is, if you run once from here to here. But if you go there to the cricket field early in the morning when nobody is there, and you run 100 times, will they say that you have scored a century? The activity is the same, but you don't get the result. But when you actually run like that, according to rules and regulations of the game with so many people, then you actually get the credit. So similarly, when you live in this world with everybody and act according to dharma, then the activities will give you pleasure, not otherwise. So these activities that we perform in the material world, independent of Krishna, these are actually sinful activities. That's what's going on in the world. Prabhupada says that. Because in modern times, everybody is doing sinful activities. So nothing is coming. No taste, no trees are not giving honey. Because it's a science. It's done in such a way that if you interact with your senses, you'll get rasa. But if you simply think, okay, these rasas are there, I'll maximize my life to enjoy it. No, there are rules and regulations. This is very subtle. You may see great players playing, they're getting paid so much money, but then you think, I will also do it, and you go, and in the home or in the morning, you come to the same ground and you run. So we cannot imitate Krishna. One of the first ways to not imitate Krishna is to understand Krishna can enjoy everything directly, but we cannot enjoy without following dharma. Therefore, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So when you follow dharma, you will get artha, and by artha, kama, you can fulfill. Just like when you work in the company, you get salary and artha, and from salary you can buy what you want. But if that working is illicit, then everything you get is bad. This is the science of creation. So unless you actually act according to dharma, it is not possible to enjoy even these rasas. So the world is suffering. Anyway, so Krishna consciousness movement has been created by Lord Chaitanya so that people can all act easily according to dharma, because in Kali Yuga, dharma is very difficult to follow. So the whole world can be converted into a very dharmic place. That Lord Chaitanya knows, and it's going to happen. So this is the meaning of yajna. In other words, there is not only things in the world, but there are means specified for that. That is actually in the material world, which scientists are misunderstanding as laws of nature. So even the scientists know that you cannot actually enjoy in the world unless you follow the laws of nature. But that those laws of nature are also created by them. It's not in nature. It's another topic. You should know everything. Scientific laws, what do they mean? People of Westerners have written books. How do the laws of science lie? That's the book by Nancy Cartwright. She's a well-known philosopher of physics. How do the laws of science, laws of nature lie? And it is a pun on the word lie, two ways. And how do they lie in the world? And also they're lying because it's not about the world. It's about your conception of the world. So they know. But devotees are foolishly thinking that scientists don't know anything. They know exactly what is good about their science and what is bad about their science. Like a thief knows exactly how he's stealing. In any case, so the world is actually made of laws that's called dharma. They're part of the world, whereas the scientific laws are not part of the world. You don't know that. I have in my YouTube video, science does not understand matter. You have subscribed? Good. So see those videos and you'll learn something. These are all coming from Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya. I don't know. I'm a fool myself. And by expressing them, I'm getting more understanding how I don't know. But still they're good, even though it's coming from a fool like me, because Lord Chaitanya and Prabhupada want this knowledge to be spread. That's why we are saying. So there's a great science that we all have to know. And so the essence of this verse is that the world is created. So there's a difference between original rasa and the derived rasas. And the derived rasas are created in the world because original rasa is missing, adi rasa is missing. And but even though it is there is also within this world created laws of nature, according to which it works. Maya adhyakshena shruyate prakriti chala. Although Krishna says there you can say Krishna. Because in the Bhagavatam first verse it is described, Krishna knows everything directly and indirectly. So under Krishna's supervision it works, but Krishna is the supreme scientist and he has made laws by which nature will work almost automatically. And those laws are the laws of dharma. The laws of dharma operate on the subtle plane. And even the laws of nature operate on the subtle plane, not in the gross world, because it's mental creation of the scientists. So all beautiful things. And in this world, we are enjoying the rasas, and the world is so made that the more you ignore dharma and the more you try to enjoy the rasa, the less earth will produce. Any questions or comments? You have any questions, Mr.? Yes.
Prabhuji, you were mentioning about the rasas coming. Now, each seed has its rasa. You talked about the sugar cane and mango and different. So I just want to understand how the jiva in soul what is the rasa we coming with? I mean, what kind of constitution we are when we take birth here?
Well, if we are the soul, if you think of us as soul, then we are bereft of rasa. Because original rasas are 5, we don't have that. That's why we have come to the material. But if you think of the soul as embodied jiva, embodied soul, conditioned soul, then the rasas are coming from the senses, both subtle and gross. And they are according to different modes of nature. Everybody has got subtle body and gross body. And those senses interacting with accordingly with those modes in the nature, the modes also in the nature, we get different things. Just like you have a radio, and in the radio, if you move the dial, then it will pick up particular frequency. But in that frequency, who is broadcasting and what is playing, we don't know. So the world is like that. And so our modes automatically lock in. So we have auto tuner. And if you just press next station, it'll go to the next station. So the modes of nature, which is actually karmana deva netrena, by the Krishna supervision of God, Krishna, and material karma, that body has its own modes, and it will interact with the modes corresponding to that in the world, and the rasas will come. So if somebody goes to a new city, he wants to know where is the nearest ISKCON center, that is one person. Another person is there, he says, I want to know where is the nearest temple. That's ISKCON center means hopefully transcendental because of Prabhupada, not because of us. He set up a transcendental temple. Our pious people were to go to, where is the nearest church, where is the nearest mosque. It's all in the different modes of, and there is another person who wants to know where is the nearest movie theater. Evening I can go for a movie. Another person is thinking, where is the nearest bar? So in the same city, different people are getting hooked up to different, because their modes are different. So very powerful. So the modes of nature are acting internally, and they force the subtle and the gross bodies to engage with the corresponding things in the world. That's forced. And the rasas come automatically. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Was that your question? Did I answer your question?
Yes. Can I continue?
Please, please, please.
So that means to say that the next step is when we are associating with pure devotees with the Bhagavatam. So gradually those rasas go, and the real rasas slowly manifest in a soul.
Yes, but kala kramena, like you were, not you, let's say I was loitering in the street, no job, and then I took somehow loan. Then finally I got a job. A lot of the money I make will go for the loan, to repay the loan. At source, detected at source, the bank says, this guy has got 11 lakhs loan. Direct. So when you're performing Krishna consciousness, a lot is detected at the source. So in the beginning, that is tolerance. What is that verse by Lord Chaitanya? Trunadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna. Tolerant, more tolerant than a tree. One of the things for the devotee is that we have to be tolerant. It appears like we are not making progress. So what you're saying is right, but it will take a long time to manifest. Lord Kapila says one should hear from the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavatas, pure devotees, for a long time. Not one or two classes, as you said. For a long time you have to hear. Then, so the method is right, but some detection at source will be taking place. We should know that. So everything will look like the same, but we are changing. You're right. I just wanted to add that just like if you looked at yourself in the mirror yesterday and today, there's no change. But if you look at your photo 10 years ago and now, there's a change. So we're growing, but it's difficult to see. But after some time, so at every stage, we can see some definite growth. And if it's not happening, something is wrong. There must be a distinct growth, and distinctly delinking from matter must take place. One distinctly feels I'm different from this world, the body and the mind. Still, one is conditioned, but it goes. So these stages are there, and we should be eager to experience them. And it comes by very proper following of the principles of Krishna consciousness. And one thing I'm a little worried about it is that people think it's on autopilot. I just come and I've joined and everything will automatically happen. No, it's only the beginning. In fact, from the way you pursued Krishna consciousness outside, when you are coming, to now when you come inside the temple, there must be a difference. And generally there is no difference. You do the same thing here. So everything, anyway, that's a different point. Yes. But you're finished?
Yes, yes. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for those questions. They're nice questions. What is the difference between Pradhana and Madhya? It's very high. Pradhana is 24th state. Mahat is 23rd. False ego is 22nd. Intelligence 21st. Mind 20th. 10 sense, 5 Jnana Indriya, 15 Karma Indriya, 10, isn't it? Panchabhuta, and then Tanmatras, 5, Panchabhutas, 5, 24. And we don't know any of them because you are seeing wood, you are not seeing the elements, 5 elements. How can we understand Pradhana? This you should first know. It's not just asking, isn't it? Suppose you go to a Rolls Royce shop and you ask him, what is the price of that Rolls Royce? That fellow will look at you, he knows immediately. What do you want to know for? No, just like that. No, it's not for just like you go to the internet and find out the cost of Rolls Royce car. This is for those who want to buy. Suppose you go to a cycle shop or scooter shop and he asks, what's the price of this scooter? So this one is good. He'll tell you because he knows that he can buy a scooter. So questions we must ask also according to our capacity. So it will be nice if you first understand. I'm not saying question is wrong. If you understand that this is way beyond my pay scale, Pradhana and Mahatattva, I should not even ask what are gross elements. I should rather ask why is it gross elements means perceivable by the senses. Why is it that I'm not even perceiving the gross sense elements? If we could ask that. Because currently we are not perceiving the world with our senses. We are perceiving them with our organs. And the organs are actually created by the senses. Therefore, they cannot perceive the 5 elements. So you must know that Pratyahara, when you withdraw, you will see that. Having said that, the difference between Pradhana and Mahatattva, well, I'll answer, but you should know that, is that in the Pradhana, the 3 modes of nature are in equilibrium. In Mahatattva, that is disturbed, that equilibrium, by the churning of Pradhana by time. That's a simple answer. Are there any questions on Zoom?
Hare Krishna. You're mentioning about Prakriti, Maya Dakshina Prakriti. Prakriti works under the direction of Krishna. So, Prakriti is
Both directly and indirectly. So it's also working under Mahavishnu.
Prakriti is also made of 3 modes. Gunamayi Maya. That's what Devyesha Gunamayi.
Potentially. By Prakriti, we can say anything. If you mean Pradhana, it's potential. In Mahat, it is Gunamayi. and all this world is Gunamayi. Go on.
Okay, so in Pradhana there is no gunas are in equilibrium, and then
Gunas are
become
there,
active in
just like
Mahatattva.
in a milk, ghee, buttermilk are all there, but in equilibrium. You can only see milk. But if you churn, if you heat, if you take out the top, and then like that, you can separate. So from Pradhana, everything is separated. It's a science done by Mahavishnu. Primarily, secondarily by Brahma.
So, further to this question,
Huh?
continuing this question, Maya Shakti is a personality, as we have heard.
Well, where have you heard? What is this nonsense?
The Maya, like Durga Devi.
Durga Devi is different from Maya Shakti. Electricity minister is not made of electricity. That's why I immediately said, what do you mean you have heard? But you are some Savanakadi sages, we have heard. You have heard wrongly. Immediate straight away. No, you should know all these things. Of course, this is Varuna Bhagavan means he's master of the water element. But his body is made in the mode of goodness. These are demigods, predominantly. So are you misidentifying Durga Devi with material energy? But she is in control of it. Durga Devi. Durga is an energy. Dur means difficult, Ga means Gamanam, going. From where it is difficult to go, that is Durga, material, prison house. She's the modern Durga Devi. They're not identical. Even Krishna is identical but different from his energies. So they also, they have great powers, but they're different, they're persons. She's a personality of material energy. That doesn't mean that she's identical with matter.
She's the Devi or the goddess for controlling the matter.
Huh?
She's the goddess who is controlling the matter.
Controlling at least the material world.
Yeah. And the material elements are also personalities. It's
Not a good question. You have to know what is a personality. Because in the material world, the personality is also made of matter, but still different. So that you should remember. That's what I'm saying. Material elements also, each element has got a devata, you know. So you can say their personality. Earth, goddess of earth. Water, Varuna Bhagavan. Fire, Agni Bhagavan. Air, Vayu Bhagavan. Sound, I don't know who is the Bhagavan for sound. I don't, just now I'm thinking, I don't know. So elements are there. But these are all we cannot understand. We are Kali Yuga brain, no. That's why I'm saying I may be sitting there and talking blah blah blah, but how much I know, only Prabhupada knows. What is this fellow is blah blahing or not? That you have to be conscious of. We don't know. I don't know. Okay, I can also cheat people by sitting and saying something, but whatever I know for my service. Because my service Prabhupada gave to develop the scientific presentations of Krishna consciousness, he is giving me some knowledge. But that doesn't, just like you're temple president and you tell a bhakta, go and buy 5 kilos of potatoes for Sunday feast. And you'll give him 500 rupees or whatever it is. I don't know, how much is a kilo of potato? Huh? 30, 40 rupees. So 5 kilos of potato, you may give 200 rupees. But if you tell him to go and buy a scooter, you may give him 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. So, for your service, whatever is needed, he gives. That's not our knowledge. Whatever he gave me, that's not my knowledge. Just like if you give somebody 1 lakh rupee and tell him keep it. Another Chaitanya comes and gives you. Probably this 10 lakhs you keep. It's not your money. You're not suddenly rich. So although we get this knowledge for service, I'm still a fool. Just like a person, poor man, somebody gave him 10 lakhs to keep. I'm still a fool. I'm still poor. If he thinks he's rich, then he's a thief. So if I think now I'm knowledgeable, I'm a fool. So in the course of performance of the duties, the ability to perform the duty comes from the Acharya. If you come to the platform of serving the Acharya, which we can and must. So, I don't know what was your question. What was your question?
Material elements being personalities.
No, after that, how did I get into this chunk about my stupidity? Anyway, the point is that you understand knowledge. I don't know why I said it. Age ho gaya. Now I forget things. What was I saying? Why did I start this topic about Prabhupada? No, I was saying, although I was saying the personality and all that, demigods are there. We say, like suddenly I got stuck now. What sound? Who is the Bhagavan? I don't think I've read anywhere. So that's how foolish I am. Although I'm sitting here, I don't know things to recognize that. Then I was explaining, then how do you know so many things if somebody says, those are things I understood because Prabhupada wants me to do this service, like wants me to buy a scooter, he gives 2 lakhs. But both devotees are same. You are giving 200 because he is asked to buy potatoes. So I'm saying that we should, that's what I was saying, that we should know that we don't know anything. And even if in the, like all of you, you've got a nice building, you don't think now I've got a big building. That's Krishna's. Before you were not without a house, still also you are without a house, but this is Krishna's house. But if you think it's my house, that's almost impossible for a devotee to think like that. But we must have the same thing for also all the opulences we get in service. Isn't it, Narayana Chaitanya? It's nothing is mine. So this knowledge is one of the 6 opulences. It's not mine. Sometimes people say, oh, we gave a nice class. I know a lot more than what I speak, but all this is for the service. That's why I'm keeping quiet. Yes.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the class. Actually, I really like that point of scoring runs in practice and real making understand about how the dharma is what gives.
Right.
Really was very nice. My question is, this shloka we hear how the elements have entered the cosmos and have not entered, like that I have entered and not entered. How do we begin to understand this?
First, you should know that you don't understand. In a morning walk, one disciple, when 5th canto came, he told Prabhupada, so Prabhupada, I am reading the 5th canto, I cannot understand. Prabhupada said, that's the whole point of writing. That you understand that you cannot understand. And so if somebody asks, electronics engineering professor, how does the cell phone work? But he's not educated. So when he starts answering, you should know immediately, oh, this is beyond my understanding. Because he'll say, a cell phone has got many aspects. There is a input mechanism, there is a display mechanism, there's a processing mechanism. The processing is done with central processor. The display mechanism has got the touch sensitivity. There's material science involved, electronics is involved. Oh, so many things. Everything cannot be understood. Like I said, we can only vaguely feel it's interesting. I think that's my position. So I don't know what your position or other position. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila
Hare Krishna, there is
Prabhupada
a
ki,
question on Zoom.
Gaur Premanandi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, there is a question on Zoom.
Huh? You can say. 1 second. Rajahamsa Prabhu has got something to say. So people on the Zoom, he wants you to stay.
Hare Krishna. So, those who missed the news about the YouTube channel last time. So, Prabhuji is the director of Bhaktivedanta Institute and Institute of Semantic Information Sciences and Technology. And he is very much active on his YouTube channel, putting out short videos, 2-3 minute videos on the connection between Bhagavad Gita and modern science, of course, Bhagavata and modern science. So, you can take your cell phone out. I'll guide you how to go to his YouTube channel. So you go to the YouTube channel and start searching his name. Subscribe on Acha. So RASA, I'm spelling it out. RASARAJA, then space Dasa, DASA. Once again, RASARAJA, space Dasa, DASA. So you will see his face on the profile, because you may see some other Rasaraja without that face. So select the one. You got it. Okay. So you can hit the subscribe button. And also, those who missed last time, I have the publications from the Institute. I'll be here for a few minutes, so you can come and see the publications. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So very grateful to His Grace Rasaraja Prabhu for coming here and sharing his wisdom with all of us. So let's thank him for giving us association by loudly chanting once Hare Krishna mantra from the core of our heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we request that Guruji comes again, and we also thank His Grace Rajahamsa Prabhu for coordinating this event, many events across Bangalore. Let's thank him also by chanting once Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Thank you very much. So prasadam for devotees in the prasadam house.